What's going on, guys? How we doing after today? There is a lot of stuff going on right now. Woo! It's getting crazy. How are you guys doing? Yeah, Mike V, you're right. Not a big fine at all. But what this does show is that FINRA could be taking steps in the right direction. So we're going to wait for some people to get in here first before we start getting into this article. You guys have any questions, just drop them in the chat. We're going to do our best to answer every single one of your questions that we have. Carlos, I'm right here, man. I see one from March too. Yep, there was one from March. At the end of the day, this fine does not mean a lot to them. But at the same time, we got to look at actually what's involved in this fine. Nobody is currently enforcing the rules. William, you say that every day, and you're right. Let's see. We're going to fine you for running hundreds of thousands of people's lives. Yeah. Yep. So this is nuts right here. So we're going to get into all of this. Wow, Chris, you were quicker than I was. All right, let's do this thing. I'm going to send a quick tweet out. We are going to get into it. We got a lot of stuff to go over today, too. If you guys saw my video from earlier, I know a lot of you guys are going to have some questions, but let's do it. All right, everybody. How we doing? Texter 1 says he doesn't have any questions, just holding. Whoo, 700K. Yeah. Why is this? No. It's from July 2020. Ooh. Y'all all right? Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up here. Hold on, everybody. Something's going on. All right, hold up. We got to switch some stuff around. Looks like the dates are a little messed up. Hold up. All right, how's everybody feeling after today? How we doing? We doing all right, everybody? Let's see. How are we doing? How are we doing? Let's see. Yeah, 700K is the price of one share. That's funny. All right, I got to switch something around real quick. But we will get it going. All right, good to go. All right, how's everybody doing? AMC stock convinced me we live in a simulation. That's facts. I'm trying to figure out how a 700K fine is going to stop them from making hundreds of millions a day manipulating. Yeah, also, I just switched some stuff around before we actually figure it out. That might have been from 2020. I got sent it today. It looked like it was 2021, but we're going to look at it. That was a quick fix. Yeah. 1 year ago today. The anniversary of Citadel getting a stupid fine. All right, let's take a look at the options going into tomorrow first. And let's see. So July 23rd, that is this week. I've heard a lot of people speculating about something going to happen with a gamma squeeze. I don't necessarily believe that a gamma squeeze is going to happen with this type of activity on the options chain. So when we look here, 45's got a decent amount of contracts. We see 50's got a decent amount of contracts. So when we're looking at this, if we were to get to over 50, that's going to cause a decent amount of buying volume, but I don't believe we're going to see anywhere near as much buying volume that we saw back in June with all of those contracts than we do now. So the plan stays the same. I don't think there's a really high potential for a gamma squeeze. SCV, you were talking about another gamma squeeze. Let's compare the number of calls expiring in the money. Yeah, okay, so B Lake. I don't think we can go back on the option chain. I can tell you that there were at one point there were 240,000 contracts at the $40 strike, and we ended up going over 40 in that first week of June. I'm not exactly sure how many were for the first week. Doesn't really matter because 2 weeks later they had those 240,000 contracts, so they were hedging those. That's why when we got to June 18th and everybody was hyping up gamma squeeze, gamma squeeze, gamma squeeze, it had already happened. Also, guys, if you guys don't mind just hitting that like button, it just helps us out with the YouTube algorithm, get some more people in here so we can get everybody's questions answered. We can stay calm, a little bit of a drama-free zone tonight. Check Bloomberg for the current fine article. Somebody send it to me because I pulled up the wrong one. All right, I gotta look at that later. What's up, Apocalypse? Hey Vix, what's your prediction for AMC tomorrow? I don't know a lot of things, but I know the chart is not going to go left. Also, we have to think about what happened today and what happened yesterday. So let's pull up this 5-day chart. Yesterday, face-ripping green day. But during that day, we saw 5 million shares go out on loan. And that was from iBorrowdesk that we saw it, and that should have came from Interactive Brokers. So we don't necessarily know where they went, but there was speculation on how they were going to get used against us. So I thought that right around here, we were going to start to see them start to use those 5 million shares against us. They didn't. They let us run up. I thought they were going to hit us in the after hours a little bit, but then today they just hammered us. So what they're doing is they saw the price run up, or they might have let the price run up and taken all of those shares away and then just tried to short at the high and make a gain on the way back down. But it doesn't matter. They're just digging the hole deeper for themselves. What's with the apple and orange juice combo? It's a really good drink. You just mix apple juice and orange juice. Let's see. Check Bloomberg for the current article. Yeah, if you guys have it. All right. Let's look over here. SCB, what does Ortex is the short interest say? Let's pull up Ortex. You guys beat me to it this time. I'm always ahead of your Ortex requests. Ortex, right here. 6 million shares, or almost 7 million shares returned, 4.5 million shares borrowed, a borrowed change. So a net return of shares of 2.3 million. The current estimated short interest, 14.28%. What's weird about this is that I'm pretty sure we saw this number yesterday go sub 14, but today it says down another 2%. So something weird is going on with the Ortex data. It's flickering around. Either way, we know that they're shorting the crap out of this. And nothing has changed besides the price on our screen. We've actually gone up. Left is oh, come on. You guys are telling me where to organize the charts now? Are we in a general uptrend? I mean, not really. Let's look. I mean, we've been in a downtrend since the middle of June. We've just kind of came back down, but this is that parabolic arc theory that that technical setup was looking at. I don't trust Ortex data, a little shady. Yeah, okay. So here's the thing about Ortex. It is the best thing that we have to look at the estimated short interest. If you have something better, then I would love to see it and I would use that. But what Ortex does is it provides us with a good estimate of the utilization, the reported shares on loan, and what is happening day to day. So I don't see anything else that can do that. We all know that Ortex is not 100% accurate because, one, it only accounts for 85% of the total market, and two, it's not accounting for the nakeds and synthetics. Yeah, exactly. Ortex is just an estimate. Yeah, we all know. Oh, thank you, Steven. Let's see. It's inaccurate because it's incomplete data. Exactly, but it's the most amount that we can collect. Yep, it's the best thing that we have right now. People need to stop shooting the messenger. True. Good evening, everybody. Hold on, let me just send this link out to a couple of people. All righty. Hold up. Where is this? Boom. All right, let's get into it. What's up, everybody? How are we doing? How long do you think shorts can keep this up? As long as they have enough liquidity to maintain the margin requirements that their broker has set out for them, and they can maintain those liquidity requirements when they get changed on them. So at some point, they're going to get liquidated. Give me 1 second, guys. Ow. Every single time I get up or I come back down, I just smack my knee on the desk. It's awful. Yeah, Michelle, I did see that. I tried to open it up and it like won't let me open it because I don't have a Bloomberg membership. Make sure the date on that is okay. Michelle, that's 2020. So what that's getting circulated around is the 2020 fine. So people had sent me that today, but that is from 2020. It's the new chair, Chris. This is the chair that I've had for a while. Like first day I did like a lunch stream, and that chair was absolutely miserable. Let's see. I feel bad if I don't join this stream in the evenings. I feel like I'm hanging with the homies. Yeah, that's what we're doing here. What up, Antics? Yeah, again, there's not many options except for Ortex. Also, copy and paste. Yeah. Anybody else notice the short ladder attacked up until close? We barcoded through after hours. Yeah, let's pull that up. Yeah, we did 0 in the down 0.5%. That's they didn't let it do anything in the after hours. Hoping for a nice $47 close tomorrow, regular hours. Ernie, that would be a sight. STV, so if the market crashes, then they won't have the liquidity to cover their shorts, right? So So the thing about the market crashing is that when it starts to teeter, you have to think about it in a couple of ways. If the whole market just dropped like a certain amount in a day, that would be bad. But if it starts to teeter, a lot of the long positions that these institutions have will get margin called. So they're going to have to either sell off some of them, generate cash somehow, and fulfill those margin requirements. So what that does is it drains their liquidity. Now, we know there's so much over leveraging going on right now from a variety of sources. The Fed has come out and said, hey, the historical levels of hedge fund leverage are well above what they typically are. And we know that the margin debt is approaching $900 billion. So lots of over leveraging. So when you're already over leveraged and the market is kind of teetering on something, there's a lot of signs that we can go over again. When their liquidity dries up, they're going to have to be forced to close some of those positions. I either want the valuation to jump or fall significantly. When it falls, okay, that's fair. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So just to clear everything up, that Citadel fine was last year. It's a year ago today. So if you guys have seen that getting circulated around, I made the mistake and thought it said 2021, not 2020. So yeah, that Citadel fine happened last year. Could the hedge fund borrow shares to hold for a specific reason to deny a competing hedge fund borrowing those shares to short? Yes, they could, but the most likely option is them borrowing the shares. Ooh, little boom boom in the after hours. Uh-oh. What do we have here? 15 minutes before close, huh? Little boom boom right here. Yeah, so the most likely option is that they're borrowing the shares and waiting for a good entry point. Smash that like button, says Chris. Oh, thank you. Yeah, if you guys don't mind hitting that like button, it just helps us out with the algorithm. Yeah, we're gonna try to stay away from the drama. We're gonna let them figure it out on their own. So yeah, so the most likely option with them taking shares, it's because they still have to pay the borrow fee rate. We don't know what they're borrowing at. There's like Ortex gives a range of the borrow fee, and we don't know. We've seen it go as high as like 100% or 200% or 0.35%. So we don't know what those specific arrangements are per each block of shares that's going out. So odds are they're just borrowing the shares, waiting for an entry point. If they don't see it, then they could be returning those shares. Short the VIX. Yeah, shout out the mods. Thanks for you guys coming in here. Also, let me see if I can pull up. Oh, it's not on this computer. Let's look for something. Yeah, and then any questions? That's what these. Oh, what's up, Mr. Opio? Yeah, I did. It's changed. It should be changed. Yeah, I noticed it like right before or like right after we went on. So it should be switched now. Yeah, it's all changed. We're all good now. Computer said not today. It's just on a different one. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in your last video, you seemed pretty excited about the 50. No. Eric, so yeah. Eric, what I was talking about there with the $50 per share is the gamma squeeze. So we would have to get to 50. So we can see here that there's a bunch of options expiring at 50 this week. So that could provide a little bit more buying volume. And we saw 60,000 of volume on this specific strike today. So that could give us a little bit more buying volume from the institutions. But we would have to get really close to 50 in order to jack this delta up for them to have to hedge it. Anyone think AA knows there's more than 500 million shares floating around, so the dividends have been canceled? They can't do a dividend. Not right now. With the current state of the business, they cannot offer a dividend. FINRA news. Why isn't there a single photo of the second book price? That's what I'm saying. People have shared screenshots, but they're fake. And then it's not. So here's the thing. Okay, we can go into that. The whole thing about the ADF. So I got so many questions. I've been getting questions left and right over the past couple of weeks about, hey, what do you think about this theory that AMC is trading at a higher price on this off-exchange venue? All the time. So we've talked about it in a couple of the live streams, but here's the issue. One, those off-exchange venues, it says it. I showed it in my video today. They follow the NBBO, the National Best Bid and Offer. But it's like a twist on it because probably it's a very illiquid exchange. When you don't have liquidity, there's less bids and asks, meaning it's harder to fill orders. So you can see that on option change a lot. When there's a wide spread, it typically means there's less liquidity and less people willing to transact at those prices. So it's possible that the bids on the exchange could be the national best bid and offer, but it's going to be hard to fill those prices because nobody is actually trying to transact in that ADF at the current time. But it is possible for the prices to be slightly different, but FINRA gives a range for the type of security. It's like if it's in like it's like called like a designated security, which we talked about in the video today, where it could be like it's either like it's in the S&P 500, the Russell, and a couple of others, and it gives like different percentage gaps that it can have in order to like transact. And the highest one is 30%. So it can be 30% higher, 30% lower. And that's the max that they have. And it's typically for like OTC, penny stock, BS stocks. So very unlikely, but it's possible. That's the thing. I just haven't seen any evidence. If some people on like LinkedIn are going to start making claims that this is happening, I just want proof. Like imagine if that was actually happening. That would be wild. We would talk about that forever. The second book is referring to Citadel Securities. They can hold their orders there. They know the number of synthetics, hence the 5K price. Aria, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you to all you guys who send in those. You guys don't have to. It means a lot. We wouldn't be able to do what we do as content creators without you guys. So thank you to all of you guys who send those in, and everybody that likes the video, and everybody that just wants to come in here and hang out. So Aria says, STV, thank you for your DD. Thank you for what you do. I hold for you. Aria, I hold for you too. Thank you. Let's see. Apish Ben Shapiro. See, do you think retail should transfer to brokerages where trades directly through the exchange rather than route it through the dark pools? Okay, here, Michael Lee, here's the thing. A lot of those orders, the order flow from a lot of these different brokerages doesn't really matter if they engage in payment for order flow. They still get sent to Citadel or one of these big market makers. So payment for order flow, in my opinion, it's not a good thing. It leads the way for them to send those orders to the dark pool and front run your orders. Not great, but at the same time, that's not the underlying issue. The underlying issue is the ability for them to send those orders into the dark pool. So in my mind, it's either payment for order flow has to not exist at all, or if it exists in any capacity, you can't hide from it. Because remember, AMC is like a little microcosm of the whole entire stock market. If every single ape went over to one of these exchanges and could directly route to the exchanges, and the argument is that payment for order flow like generates liquidity, well, there's other people that are trading other things on different like they're trading different things other than AMC, so it still wouldn't matter, in my opinion. Seth, thank you so much for the Superman. Super humble, bro, and appreciate your DD and your streams. Super smart guy. Thank you, Seth. I really appreciate that. I understand that we definitely need some sort of proof. I 100% agree. How feasible would this be able to accomplish? Is something like that possible? You would have, see, here's the thing. One, the whole entire point in the argument that is happening is because they want to hide it from retail. If it is happening. So the fact that we are trying to prove it and the whole point of it actually happening is so that we don't know about it, then you would have to talk to somebody who's actually executed the trade. Like it would be relatively impossible to prove. And on the information that we have, you can't just you can't just prove it. Like you'd have to see it. And we had Kringle come on yesterday and explain it to everybody. Ernie, thank you so much for the Superman. We have 3 to 5K call in options from 41 to 49 at each strike and 15K at 50 in the money. So their goal is to keep it under 50 this week via Webull. Okay. So the whole thing about that, the new gamma squeeze is, yeah, if we see those contracts run in the money or deep in the money, it's going to lead to more buying volume. The issue is that I don't see it as being enough contracts. We would need it to get up to like 150,000 contracts in the money, 200,000 contracts in the money to really crank up the buying volume. But that's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. So we can't choose where to route orders on Webull. Okay, so Randall actually found something yesterday that's like in Citadel and Webull's agreement. It says something like, if the customer does not specify which place to route it, then we can put it wherever we want. So we just have to find a way and talk to Webull. We haven't done that yet, and see if they do it. See if we can just ask them, hey, send it to this exchange. Shorts cannot cover with synthetics, from my understanding, and all synthetics will have to be purchased back as well. Yes, Antics. So they have to cover, from my understanding too, they have to cover with real shares, but they have to cover all of the synthetics as well. Look like they're really after this 40 target through Friday as resistance. Guess we will see. Honestly, after, I think last week it was, let's check the puts. What are the puts at 40? Nothing really. 30. Yeah, okay. Nothing crazy on the put side. But if you guys remember from last week's videos, when we see a bunch of puts go in the money or really close to the money, it's like a reverse gamma squeeze. Because when you sell a put, in order to delta hedge that put, you have to short the stock. So it can, if more puts go in the money, you can keep tumbling the stock down because they keep having to short. And when the stock ends up bouncing up, then they do the unhedging, and they cover those short-term shorts that were used to hedge those puts. David, thank you so much for the super, man. Shout out to everybody sending those in and everybody who hits that like on the video. You guys are awesome. David says, I just want to say thank you for your DD. I like your area of expertise. You bring about liquidity. Thank you, David. Can't they just borrow new shares to cover their shorts? Not really. Like, they would have to buy back shares to cover their shorts. There are ways for them to meet their locate requirements, like artificially. Or not the locate, sorry, the closeout requirements. Which, if you meet your broker's closeout requirement by doing those weird option strategies where you buy the synthetic long and sell the deep in the money call, then you look like you're covered, but you're not, and you're fully expecting to get exercised on that position by the following Tuesday. So then it just resets the clock. In about an hour, we're also going to be checking the threshold list. How come no one has heard back from the Mulligan brothers, actually, to update us on the documentary? I've talked to them a couple of times. They've actually been filming. Yeah, that would actually be used to cover FTDs, Dion. Because technically what happens, so here's one of the ways that a naked short is created. Say I am a prime broker, and there's 4 hedge funds that want to short a stock. So what happens is say I think that I can get my hands on 1 million shares. So I loan 250,000 IOU shares to these 4 different hedge funds, and I have 3 days to deliver those shares. So they short, so they enter into their short position. Everything is all well and dandy, but the prime broker, me, is not really meeting the locate requirement because I don't really have the shares. So when that 3 days comes around and I don't have any access to the shares to loan out, that then becomes a failure to deliver. So then if the prime broker can then loan them real shares, it can cover the FTD. Oh, what is this avocado thing? How can they cover all synthetic shares if there's only 500 million legit shares, but possibly a billion synthetics? That's where the theoretically unlimited squeeze price comes from. It's like, well, if they have to cover all of these shares, and we honestly don't know how many synthetics or naked shorts are out there, we honestly don't know. There's really no way to prove it unless we could get a real vote count or a share count, where the proxy companies aren't trimming off the top. But yeah, that's because they have to cover all of those shares. That is so much buying volume that could get pumped in. Vix, I sent you a DM on Twitter. You should read. I have a theory that makes sense on this stuff. Awesome. Yeah, we're going to keep it positive in here, guys. Adam Aaron becoming chair of the board. That's pretty great info. Like that shows that the executive team at AMC has a lot of confidence in Adam Aaron to have him be CEO, president, and chairman of the board. They're putting all of their faith into Adam Aaron to lead this company forward, which I'm perfectly fine with. I've never had any issue with Adam Aaron. In my opinion, he has done great things for AMC while he's been the CEO. So buying deep in the money puts to drive the price down as well. Like you said, reverse delta hedging. They could be. That could be one of the ways that they do it, because then they have to go out. The market makers have to go out and short the stock. But they could do it with like at the money or just in the money puts too. When AMC MOAS comes, they lose their bet and become the laughing stock of finance. Most likely. What is stopping a share audit? Why hasn't that happened yet? I think you have to... I don't know. I have to look into that. Hedges are in trouble either way. It's just a matter of time. They can delay the MOAS, but it will happen ultimately. Their only hope is to manipulate it in such a way to get us to sell. I would agree. I also think what they're doing is they're trying to find a way to stay in business, and those are the institutions that are wildly over-leveraged. So if you've just naked short, synthetic shares, naked short, like you just keep hammering the stock and you keep over-leveraging yourselves on these positions, when you have to cover and you have a lot of other over-leveraged positions too, it's not going to be pretty when margin starts calling. Why is the cost to borrow falling? Let's look. That's weird. We can look at it on a different source too. Yeah, it's like negligible. It has to do with the supply and demand for loan shares. Yeah. Stevie's boyfriend reached 4,100 shares today. I keep buying. Nice job, man. Yeah, this is probably not the only company where they're in trouble. Yep. You know what else tells us that? Remember Archegos and how they got in trouble for total return swaps? And they blew up their entire company? Well, pretty recently, we kind of figured out what's in these triple, like the total return swaps. Archegos was not the only one. If there's a loophole in the system to exploit, these people aren't stupid. Like their whole purpose is to find loopholes in the system, exploit them, and just arbitrage those opportunities and just keep making money on it. Keep pumping the money through. That is their whole entire deal. I'd imagine puts isn't exactly that since you don't have to execute it. So for puts, if you sell a put, if you're an institution that sells a put, if you want to hedge it in order to not take a significant loss, then yeah, you would have to short the stock. How old am I? I'm 22. A penny just fell out of my pocket. That's funny. Yeah, this could take this. A lot of people are surprised that it's taken this long to play out already. So the whole thing is that we know essentially what the over-leveraged institutions, the short hedge funds, institutions trying to keep it down, their goal is to try to wait it out until retail loses interest. So if they can do that and people sell and they get bored and they're impatient and they sell and they think it's going to take too long, then they win. That's not financial advice. That's just explaining what their strategy is. Let's see. Anthony, thank you so much for the super, man. Just because I can keep dropping knowledge, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I'm okay with how long it's taking. I'm poor. I have 22 shares, and I'm trying to add 2 more every 2 weeks. Matt, good for you, man. STV, not even kidding. Can you explain to us what exactly it means to short a company and to buy a put? Explain it that way that a 5-year-old could understand, my friend. Thank you in advance. Eric, that's a really good question. Let's go over that. So when we're talking about shorting and puts, they're 2 very different things. Cyber Wizard, thank you so much for that, Superman. Hump Day, time to think about going to the movies this weekend. Hey guys, I mean, if you want to support AMC, the best way to do it is either go to the movies or watch an AMC movie on demand, and you can rent it at home. So shorting. So shorting is the process of receiving a loaned share. You get a loaned out share from a broker and you sell it on the open market. So you are selling something that you do not own and you are paying a fee to do so. So what happens then is that since you've sold something that you do not own, in order to close that position, you have to eventually buy that share of stock back. So let's think about this really simply. Let's say you do that process, you take the loan share and you sell it at $100. So you collect 100. You now have $100 in your account. So you are hoping the stock is going to go down. So when the stock goes down to, let's say 90, you can use that $100 that you collected, but only use 90 of it to buy that share back, return it to your broker, and make that $10 profit minus the borrow fee that you paid. Puts are very different. Jason, thank you for the Superman. Can you just tell me this is a really good question? Jason, really good question. So puts are different. It's an options contract. So an options contract just gives you the right, if you're buying, it just gives you the right to do something. And you have the right to a certain block of assets. For options in stocks, it's 100 shares. So what a put does, if you buy it, it gives you the right to sell 100 shares of stock at a specified price on or before a certain date. So let's look at a real example of a put to make it really easy. So when we look at the put option chain for this week, let's say that you want to buy this $35 put. So what happens is you pay somebody $35 for this contract. Now, what this gives you, the buyer, is the right to sell your shares, so let's say you own 100 shares of AMC right now, only 100 shares. So by the end of this week, if AMC falls to 30, you have the right to sell at 35. So that's what put options are for. So technically, you are gaining value on your options contract as the price decreases when you buy puts. And the interesting thing about options is that they do not affect the share price. Only when you exercise that is when it can affect the share price. Jason, thank you. I knew it. Take that, Mom. Anthony, thank you so much for the supers, guys. Knowledge/message. Thank you. Also, if you guys don't mind, just dropping a like on the video. It just helps us out. So with puts, it's just giving you the right to sell. With calls, it gives you the right to buy. The difference is when you're selling them, it gets a little bit more complex. When you sell them, you actually have the obligation to deliver, which means that if you sell a call, here's where it gets really risky. And this is why delta hedging is a very interesting concept. So when you sell call options, your potential max loss is unlimited. And here's why. Say you sell this $50 strike right here. You collect $38. So you're technically shorting the call option. Doesn't affect the stock though. So you collect this $38 in premium and you're hoping that AMC, we're just using this as an example, will stay below $50 by Friday. Now here's where options get really risky when you're selling them. Let's say AMC goes to $100 a share by this Friday, just an example. But you sold this contract. You have to sell. That's what selling a call is. You are selling the right to someone else for you to sell them shares. So if you get exercised, what you would have to do if the stock is trading at 100 is you would have to go out on the open market, buy 100 shares at $100. It would cost you $10,000 and you are obligated to sell them at 50. So you take a 50% loss like that. And that's where delta hedging comes in. So they flip a lot of these positions into covered calls. Selling puts is bullish, selling calls is bearish. So why do they call you guys apes? Because we're as dumb as apes, as you can tell. Are you guys talking about Chipotle? Yeah, puts do not help the options. Okay, so here's the thing. In general, options are, you can do whatever you want. Like, if you're going to buy these wildly deep out of the money contracts, yeah, you're providing liquidity and money to the people who are selling them to you. The other side of it is that if there's a pile up on a specific strike, let's say it's the 60. So let's say the amount of contracts right here in the open interest goes to 100,000, but then these run in the money. This forces institutions to go out on the open market and buy a lot of those shares, which pushes the price up even higher. So there's two sides to the argument on whether or not options are going to help or hurt the situation. The only reason, or a really big reason to why we saw that massive run up in the beginning of June was because of options. What's up, Rhode Island? How you doing? Heard you were gonna have Houston Wade on. Me and TMI do have some stuff cooking with Houston Wade, so that's gonna be pretty fun. Let's see. What happens when you exercise a put? You would need the underlying shares. So let's say you don't have, it's kind of useless. So if you don't already own the shares, exercising a put is useless. Because here's the thing. There's intrinsic and extrinsic value of options. So let's just say the intrinsic value would just be the difference between the strike and what the stock is currently trading at. That's what the intrinsic value is. So for a put, if you're out here, the intrinsic value is 0 because you could just sell at market value. If you're in here, then you have then you actually have intrinsic value. So let's say you have this 50 and the price of AMC is 40. You have a $10 intrinsic value, meaning that your option bare minimum should be worth $1,000. But we see here that, okay, so it's a little different because AMC's trading a little bit higher, but they're trading slightly under. So let's say see, that's annoying. I can't even get a good example right here. So let's say that AMC is actually trading at 40. The contracts have an intrinsic value of 1,000, but they're actually trading at 1,200. So there's a little bit of more premium baked into it because of implied volatility, time decay, and a couple of other factors. But if you wanted to exercise one of these puts and you don't own the underlying shares, you would go out and buy shares at the open market. So right here for, let's say, if AMC's trading at 40, and then you would just sell them at 50. But the option's going to be worth more than the gain that you would have from just buying those shares and then selling them, if that makes sense. Their liquidity is way lower than their liquidity. That's confusing. Slap that like as fast as you slap the ask. That's funny. Oh, we could definitely get Travis on to talk about options. Yeah, I know Travis. Sean. Can the buyer of a put contract exercise the contract early? Yes. So the basic the really basic thing that you need to understand about puts is that their main purpose was for insurance. Why? No, let's see. Because it gives you the right to sell. STV, so if we get into the 200,000 plus options for another huge gamma squeeze like the back and beginning of June call, then how do we get back to that? Eric, so the thing is that right now on AMC, those 40s back in June were cheap. You could get those 40s for like 20 cents, like 20 to 40 cents each. But when you look at, let's say, the next monthly options expiration date, August calls, the 145s are 90 cents. There's a lot of contracts there, but it's not as cheap anymore. They have come down in price, 100%. So it's going to be a lot harder for retail to pile up so much when the contracts are more expensive, if that makes sense. The longs are still winning. Very true, Anthony. Yeah, so if we look at, let's just see. A lot of people are a little bit worried. I understand if you got in at these higher levels and you have that unrealized loss, but think about what happened back in January. Oh, don't quit on me now. No. No. All right, we're going to mess around real quick with this. Hold up. Weeble is being annoying right now. All right, let's screw around. Let's see over here. What about GME options? We can look at that. Oh, we're back. All right, let's see. Is this all right? Is this good over here? Yeah, my Weeble just glitched out a little bit. Well, we're back. All right. Year to date. It's because I leave it up all the time. Okay, so back to what we were talking about before. Remember all the people that bought up in this $20 range and then it came back down to $5? Pretty big bag holders at these ranges. Everybody was pretty worried. We had this run up to 14, came back down, and then we ripped to 72 because of that big gamma squeeze. So, and the shorts have not covered in any substantial way. So we're still in the same position that we have been in. We're just seeing the price fluctuate on our screen. There's a lot of psychological manipulation going on right now. Just jumping in. Sorry, I'm late. You're all good, man. I've been hearing a lot about the December 17th calls. Any insight into that? Yep. Anthony, thank you so much for another Superman. Thanks to all you guys who send those in. You guys don't have to, and really means a lot to us. So thank you very much. And shout out to everybody hitting the like on the video and everybody that's just coming in here to hang out. You guys are all awesome. All right, this looks weird, but we're going to go with it. Oops. December 17th. Nothing crazy on the December 17th. Oh God, we got Fluffer in here. What's up, man? Stop playing in AMC. Don't play. Okay, Debbie, people can do whatever they want with their money. If people want to play options, whether it's AMC, not AMC, buy the stock, not buy the stock anymore, people can do whatever they want to do. So I don't appreciate people coming in and saying don't buy options. The only argument against against buying options is if you're buying wildly deep out of the money options that expire this week and you're just burning money. I understand that, but don't tell people what to do. Jeff, thank you for the Superman. What happens when the entire float, 500 million shares, are bought up? What if they are? How could we keep buying if they were? Jeff, so that brings in the concept of synthetics and naked shares or naked shorts. And the fact that when you are trading at a brokerage and you do not turn off share lending, they can technically just loan out your shares again. We've gone over this a couple of times, but let's say I have share lending turned on. My broker loans them out to a hedge fund. The hedge fund shorts them and sells them to TMI. So now me and TMI both own the same 100 block of shares. So that is one of the ways. That's why we think there's probably a crazy amount of shares out there. Kirby, what's up, Kirby? Thank you for the super. I want to go to the moon/space. It seems fun. Please hodl, everyone. Hey Vix, when were you saying was the date for the T+35? I actually don't know. We would have to take a look at that. The last time that we thought we were going to see some big T+35s, we didn't, and then we ended up on the threshold list, and then nothing really happened. So let's wait and see. Rocket, thank you for the Superman. I normally only send Claybro super chats and don't know what to do with all of this extra super chat capital since he's on vacation. Compliments of Claybro. Thank you, Rocket. Really appreciate that, man. STV, do day traders buy and trading swings daily slow the MOAS? I mean, day traders are going to come in anyway, but if we're ripping and day traders come in, they just provide more volume. Why aren't there any AMC options for October and November? They'll probably add them. They just have to add them to the chain. So it just goes September, December. They typically add them. Because September is the quarterly. So they have the quarterlies, the monthlies. So they just haven't added the monthlies yet for Q4. Still looking to buy my first call option, but I don't plan to exercise it, but rather sell it and use the profit to buy more stock and lower my average. Not clear on how, when to sell. Have homework to do. Rhode Island, yeah, definitely do a lot of research into call options before you're even going to get close to buying them. I always say if you want to learn, paper trade first so you can see how they move in an account. But they're extremely risky, and especially with AMC, unless you know what you're doing, I'm just saying be very careful. I'm super petty. This isn't about the money to me anymore. I'm holding out of spite. Interesting. Yeah, I'm probably always going to own AMC shares. It's, you can have, when they start to cover, it's like you can have some of my shares, but you can't have all of them. It's just making it difficult for them. It's like twisting the knife. Also, did anybody see any wild articles by Seeking Alpha or Motley Fool today so I can yell at them again? Let's see. Let's talk some ish on these people. News. Let's see. Nothing from Seeking Alpha. Let's see. Nothing. They stay really quiet on the days after they were wildly wrong. Every time we have to endure more BS from the hedge funds, I just add more to my floor. It's a good way to look at it, Sarah. Just got here. Are there any more sharts today? Always, guys. Always more sharts. Oh, Motley Fool has one. John, can you send that to me? Oh, was it a good one? It was like YA. Ooh, are they talking? The soccer news about 8%. Yeah, they didn't really in this one. They didn't really say anything wild, I don't think. Don't you guys think it's hilarious that Jim Cramer always comes on and he's just like, oh, the Wall Street Bets crew. It's like, dude, I don't think any of us are on Wall Street Bets. I honestly don't think anybody goes on Wall Street Bets. GameStop has their Reddit thread, and AMC has AMC stock. What's going on here? STV, will you please verify this info? Calling all apes. How you can help correct Citadel Connect? Oh, yeah, definitely go watch Randall's videos. I don't think I've seen that one, but yeah, Randall's got a lot of good info all the time. Let's see. I didn't realize. Oh, you guys are having your own conversations in the chat again. I see. I feel left out. I'm holding because it is the best interest rate I've ever gotten on a personal savings account. That's good. Vix the short. That's me. Manny, that's gonna get all sorted out tonight. We've been trying to work behind the scenes, but we are not gonna be talking about any drama in here. VIX, when margin calls truly happen, I believe they've already been happening, but wouldn't the market be in correction for more than just a day or two? Could yesterday just be them playing possum? Okay, so I don't think it was, maybe it was yesterday. 2 days ago was when the 10-year Treasury started to really come down. And then yesterday morning, it dropped again. Then it started to come back up. So the rally that we're seeing, I think, is a little bit fake. At the end of the day yesterday, if you watched the NASDAQ, the SPY, or any of the major indexes, they took a nosedive. So something's definitely brewing. We know that Goldman Sachs dumped 25% of their equity holdings in Q2, and they did it onto retail. So they're trying to make retail investors the bag holder for their leveraged positions now. They're just dumping onto retail. But what's interesting is that the Goldman Sachs high retail sentiment basket, that little chart that I showed that tracks like retail sentiment in the market, has gone from a high to a low over the past month. Anyone have the Ortex data today? Yeah, I got it right here. Boom. 14.28% short interest, utilization 87.27%. Shares on loan 94.5 million. Free float on loan 18.47%. Estimated short interest 14.63%. Yeah, their TMI had a Twitter space. I'm not sure if he's still in it. I know he's been active on Twitter recently. And then Rogue is probably helping out too. I sent the link to the guys, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, pushing with powder is doing good. Where is he? Where's he at? There he is. I wanted to verify the information because I know you're definitely legit. I'll believe it if you state that the information is true. Miss Harris, I'm going to have to take a look at it. So basic thing on Citadel Connect, it's Citadel's dark pool. That's not a dark pool. So if you're a dark pool, you have to be an ATS, an alternative trading system. Citadel Connect is classified as a non-ATS. And from that Reuters article in 2015, they said that they do not report to FINRA. Here's the thing though. FINRA, what it looks like is the earliest date that they started reporting that OTC transparency data was December 2020. So it looks like that Citadel's Connect is reporting. So remember that period of time, I think in March, where everybody was freaking out about the FINRA data, saying that the dark pool volume is so high, but it wasn't actually the dark pool. It was just these over-the-counter weird non-ATS systems. That's Citadel Connect. So we've known about this for a long time. All we really did in the last week is put a name on it. Yeah, KJS, I'm looking at that. The cost to borrow is like negative 0.14. It's very interesting. I'll have to take a look at a little bit more into that. Let's see. SCV, what time do you get up to watch the price action? I get up at 7:55 every day. That's what my schedule is like. Let's see what we got. Central time? No, Eastern. It's weird. Like, honestly, it's like like I'm gonna be staring at the screen from like 9:30 and watching it until 4. But if like we don't see any evidence of like the squeeze happening or the shorts covering, it's like you're just banging your head against the wall. Like, yeah, we're gonna find all the necessary information and report it to everybody. But I don't think it's good for everybody to stare at the charts all day, especially for the extra pre-market or after hours, if you don't have to. Are you allowed to watch your phone in high school? Haha, that's funny. I'm in college and I rarely go to class. Just kidding. Have you looked into the DD on units? No, not yet. Hey, Vix, thanks for being here tonight and keeping us focused. Anytime, Sarah. It's easy to get involved in the Twitter BS. Yeah, I always stay out of shit. I just don't like find them out. It should not say that there's a fine anymore on this thing. Let's see. Yeah, Alex, we're going to, go. So we talked about it in our mod chat. I think a little bit. SCV, what are your thoughts on the ADF system? We know that it exists, but it's impossible to know what the price is in the second books unless you have direct access to it. Yes. If you watch my video today, we went over that they follow the NBBO, the National Best Bid and Offer, but they have this range that they can trade in. Now, the range, the maximum that I saw on FINRA's website was a 30% difference. And that's most likely due to the illiquidity of that type of exchange. Okay, okay, hold up. It should not say fine anywhere. Hold up. Yeah, there's no fine. Yeah, no fine on anything. On a serious note, fellow told me, yeah, Andres. Yeah, that's not good. Sean, thank you so much for the super, man. I really appreciate all you guys sending those in. What baffles me is nobody at Citadel is snitching them out for the whistleblower attendees. Honestly, Sean, they're probably all bound with NDAs. Yeah, there's more. Yeah, we're not talking about it. Will Smith says, SCV, good evening. It's a new day and Chipotle still sucks. Not an actor. Yeah, it's a good thing because your acting career is terrible. I'm just kidding. I had Chipotle today, and you know how it was? Actually, the Chipotle that I had today was actually not as good as usual. So you must be well known. Chase be like Vix. What? Okay. Vix, no investment advice. Okay. I have options and exercise them. And that could affect the stock price. If I close the option and take profits, does that affect the stock price? Okay. So if you exercise your call options, then it actually boosts the price of the stock up a little tiny bit. It makes the market makers go out and buy the shares at market value, which adds more buying volume. If you sell the option contract and just sell the contract, doesn't affect anything. But then if you use that money to put it back into shares, then yes. But you're typically going to be able to buy more shares if you exercise your option. That's the little trade-off. It's like you're going to have a higher dollar value gain on the option contract if you sell it well before expiration, but you're going to be able to get your hands on more shares if it's an in-the-money contract versus if you just sold the contract and then bought the shares. It depends on the situation, though. How much water do you drink a day? I used to try to drink a gallon, but I haven't been anymore. True 86, thank you so much for the Superman. Before the run up to 72, there was a lot of talk about high cost to borrow and days to cover. Now they're both low. Do these metrics matter? Yes. So days to cover is a reflection of the volume in the short interest, I believe. And the cost to borrow is basically a reflection of the supply and demand in the market of loaning shares out and returning them. So if there's more institutions and more shares, like demand for shares to go out on loan, then the cost to borrow will go up. But what's weird is that we've seen wild amounts of shares getting loaned out coming back, but the cost to borrow has been staying really low. So what we've also seen is that the utilization has dropped randomly when the shares on loan has stayed the same. So what that suggests to us is that it's possible that the institutions who are loaning out shares have found their way to get their hands on more shares to loan out. So what that means is that if they're continuously finding more and more shares to loan out to everybody, then they're just artificially increasing the supply, which keeps the borrow fees low. Randy says he's buying 2,000 more shares tomorrow. Nice job, Randy. I drink a gallon of milk a day. That's awesome. Vix, what's the average days of shorts on loan? 38. It went down from 42, which that could suggest that people have reshorted at these levels that we are at right now. Because if it's an average and you see a bunch of shorts come in recently, the average days on loan is going to be like really low. But if a lot of them come in very recently, then it's going to decrease the average days on loan. So let's see. Back in the beginning of May, it was like 53. June 7th was 57, really came down. You know what this could suggest? The really steep decrease in the average days on loan. People shorted at the top. So they literally just kicked the can down the road even further, dug themselves into an even deeper hole. Hold up here. Why did this just change? Am I seeing this right? You guys saw this too, right? Earlier, hold up. I'm not crazy, right? We saw this short interest change being negative 2% at one point. Hold on. I'm going to need you guys to verify this for me because I don't want to feel crazy. Okay. Hamilton saw it. That's weird. I wonder what the return shares was. Wasn't it like I thought there was a net return of like 2.5 million shares. Ortex, you're playing with us again. Yes, 6 million returned, 3 million borrowed, and then it changed. All right. Well, that's weird. Yeah, it was just negative 2.44%. Rewind the video. I can't, but we just had it up. Is Ortex bad? No, it's the best thing. Yeah, okay. So you cannot trust Ortex. You can say it's bad all you want. They're a good company that's presenting information in a really good way. It's just right now with how our market is run, it's impossible with the short reporting instructions to see the full amount of shorts in the market. Now, FINRA's actually trying to take some steps to actually report the synthetic short positions, which is when you sell a call, buy a put, it creates a little gap in the put call parity, and then you can exploit that to create a synthetic short position. Tyler, thank you so much for the super, man. Love what you do. Keep bringing us the facts. Much love, my fellow ape brother. Also, a gallon of water is mandatory in construction. That's pretty cool. Oh, Fred went back and it was negative 2.44. Interesting. Yeah, before it was 6.8 returned, 4.5 borrowed. VIX, are they still naked shorting? Most likely, but it's really hard to know. So the main thing, the main data point that we have that suggests that there's naked shorts out in the market right now is the failure to deliver numbers spiking, because every single naked short in like synthetic share ends up being a failure to deliver, but not every failure to deliver is a naked short, because those can arise from market makers not being able to cover options. It can arise from some like just random like computer errors. But the thing is that if the FTDs are so high and you end up on the threshold list, like in order to cross that threshold, it needs to be a very significant amount of failure to delivers, which suggests there's something weird going on. Hence the naked shorting. Okay, cool. Thank you guys for sending me those pictures that I'm not crazy. Short interest going up. Is that a positive for apes? I mean, it just means that nothing has changed, really. Yeah, shout out to Randall. Randall's got an awesome YouTube channel. Can they borrow shares to satisfy the FTD without shorting? Okay, so here is I gotta look into this more, but I was thinking about this the other day. If the FTD is created, we're doing a lot of air quotes tonight. If the FTD is created on the prime broker side when they don't meet their locate requirements and they allow people to short shares that they don't have, but then randomly they find a bunch of shares and now they've loaned them out, it technically covers that failure to deliver. Because think about it, they would have to buy those shares. If the brokerages don't have the shares in order to lend out, then they themselves have to buy the shares. So that's where that T plus 35 comes in. Are you having a show with Houston tomorrow, STV? Corey, me and TMI are recording something with Houston and Trade Spotting, and then it is possible that we are going to be able to get them on TMI's live. And I'll see if Houston will want to come on this live too. That'll be fun. Houston's a really smart dude. Yes, sir. They hide short interest in the option chains. They mark shorts as long, then naked short. There is no reliable number to grasp how screw they are. I just know it's a lot. Gabe, 100%. That's kind of what I'm looking at too. When we look at the Ortex data, it kind of gives us a floor per se of what the short interest is. It's like, oh, this is like the minimum amount. Does Matt have back problems? Is that why you have a Matt slipped disc? Account, thank you for the Superman. Can they settle an FTD with a call put parity or synthetic? Thanks. Okay, so the put call parity, let's pull up the actual equation. We could probably do one, but it's a lot of math. Thank you so much for that super though. Okay, put call parity. It's like call price, the price of the stock. It's like a discount rate of the risk-free. It's a lot of stuff going on. Present, yeah, okay. Spot price. I'm trying to find a good. Yeah, there's arbitrage. All right, I'm pulling it up for you guys. All right, here we go. Okay, this dude didn't really. This is underlying, but it's fine. So this is the call price. This is the present value of the strike price. So it's the strike with a discount rate and the risk-free rate involved with a time aspect to it. This is just kind of a weird one right here. This is the put price. This is the underlying price of the stock. What happens sometimes when a stock is hard to borrow is that there's a gap between. So what this equation allows you to do is that if you know the call price, you should be able to calculate what that respective put price is going to be. But when there's this weird gap in there, the put price or the call price, when you know the other one, is going to be different. So that's where the synthetic comes in. So they don't necessarily cover with those. They cover with other things. They'll sell a deep in the money call and buy synthetic shares, or they'll buy like deep out of the money puts, I think is the other one. I'm more familiar with the call side. So what I'm concluding is nothing has really changed, and the hedges are still heavy manipulation. Oh, yeah. Oh, are you guys talking about pennies again? Oh, boy. No, you guys are good. I don't want to post the link without permission. Byron, what are you talking about? I don't see another. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, I have seen that. It's like, that's like accounting fraud. It's wild. Sick of people saying Ortex is one of us. I never said that. I just like looking at them for the trends, and it gives us a nice baseline of where we're at. Oh, God, you guys and your freaking pennies. Supermom is still at work? And it's your birthday? Happy birthday, Supermom. July's 27th vote. If we end up with 1 billion votes, it'll expose naked synthetic as there's best and most obvious way to expose the fraud. Michael, yeah, in theory, yes. The issue is that, as Wes Christian has pointed out before, that with proxy companies, when they get and receive more votes than they're supposed to, do you know what they do? They just trim off the top to make the numbers work legally. So there is going to be a record of it somewhere, but we probably won't know. It's just giving them more evidence if somebody can actually get access to those numbers. That's why voting is still important. Oh God. Send you a message on Twitter. Do I have a Patreon? Wait, BBB says STV. I send you a message on Twitter. Do you have a Patreon so that I or others can support you and your fine work? No, I don't personally have a Patreon. TMI and I have a joint Patreon. But yeah, I mean, just being here is good support. People do send in supers, but like you guys don't have to do that if you don't feel that you want to. Shareholder meeting won't do anything. Did nothing for GME because of surprise, fraud, and malpractice. Yeah. Okay. This is the other thing. When we get close to the shareholder meeting, everybody's going to be freaking out and hyping up the date. Don't do that. That's not something that we want to do. We do not want to be hyping up a specific date for anything to happen. We've seen it happen before. Has not gone well. Let's see. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be interesting. Darth Bane, thank you so much for the super, man. Oh, you say I want to. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. If it shows we own 99%, it would be like what Porsche did for VW when they showed they own 99% and the squeeze was on. It's possible. Today was really Mac's birthday and tomorrow is too. People were doing that to me a couple of times and like it's not 1.25 billion. Let's see. We got questions up in here. That big W is an indication that we will win. I like it. Gabe, thank you for the super chat, man. I paid for this super chat in pennies. Thank you, Gabe. Okay. Let's see. 10-year treasury bounce today. Over the next couple of days, I would expect the 10-year treasury to come back down. The markets ran over the past 2 days. And where we're at right now, I really don't think there's a lot that they can do to keep propping this up. I think the main thing that they're going to try to do is keep retail investors happy. Like the Fed, here's the other thing. When we have these Fed meetings, the Fed's never going to come out and be like, oh, yeah, everything's screwed. The banks are in terrible shape and everybody is headed for a disaster. They just can't say that. So you're going to have to look for clues in what they're saying because they're always going to leave specific clues as to what is really going on. That's why people read word for word what's in those Fed minutes. Yeah, we got a nice W right here. I don't even know how many days this is. Wait, this is hourly. I don't even know what's going on here. Oh, that is a W. That's cool. So we need to wait for the cost of borrow to go up before we get excited. And why do we think the cost of borrow is remaining so low? Where the institution's finding shares to loan out? Okay, so when we think about what happened in the beginning of June, there was a part of the reason why we shot up was because of a FOMO rally. When a FOMO rally happens, people who are not in the stock become invested into the stock. So a lot of new shareholders entered into a position. Now, those people don't necessarily know all of the time. Like they probably don't know everything that's going on with AMC and the market manipulation and everything going on like that. So what they might be doing is they might have share lending turned on, or a major institution may be loaning out shares, or there's a really high net worth client that one of these institutions has that is fine with loaning out their shares. We don't really know. Are you watching overnight because most squeezes happen at night? No, this is just when we stream. Let's see. Yeah, thanks to everybody coming out and hanging out in here. If you haven't already, if you want to hit that like button, it would mean a lot. Thanks to everybody who already has. Just keep those questions coming in. We're going to answer everything. Bye, Supermom. Let's see. I don't see anything happening till August, but I could be wrong. We do have earnings in the beginning of August. Do you think there's a possibility that shorts could be running up the price, then covering little by little, and will continue to do this for as long as it takes until they cover? Beat Life. Here's the issue with that. If they would want to run up the price and then cover, there's new shorts entering at a lot of these prices. So it doesn't really it doesn't matter. Like, people were saying that they were covering in a range and then reshorting. It's like, well, if they're covering and then reshorting, nothing changed. They still have the short position. Oh, what's up, Long? How you doing? Let's see. Where's Rogue, his twin, in the mask? Last time I checked, they were on Twitter handling some stuff. I think we are good now, though. Can you do a quick blurb on your thoughts on crypto? Okay, so in general, I see the crypto market taking a hit when the overall market starts to sell off. Because that's typically what happens. If the market's going to sell off, crypto is going to take a hit too. But crypto may bounce back more aggressive and faster than the market. So crypto could be a really decent investment after we see this correction start to play out and after the squeeze happens. So I've heard a lot of people talk about, hey, I want to move to crypto after the squeeze. And I think that could be a good idea. STV is your twin's name, Long the VIX? Yeah. What's up, John? What up, Gio? Shout out to mods. Thank you guys for hanging out in here. Let me just check out something real quick. Oh, wait. I was supposed to switch something. Hold up. Boom. No shills tonight, but this was about the time that we saw the shills start to come in. So we are going to go subscribers only. Can we play charades? No, James. We can't play charades. Maybe for Power Half Hour, we can do something fun. Shorts may be gathering as much shares to manipulate average days on loan to trick us into thinking they have got scot-free from the deep loans from early this year. Mr. Opio, if we see the average days on loan start to decrease, it could mean one of two things. If they are shorting aggressively right now, you can hold on. You guys are going wild. So if you were shorting aggressively right now, you're entering into a short position where that day, like days on loan, is 0. So I'd have to see how it's calculated, because if you just cover a short, it should just no longer get counted in, and it could decrease the shares on loan. But if you're really aggressively shorting right now, then it would decrease the shares on loan. John, thank you for becoming a member, man. So yeah, if you guys didn't know, we do have a membership program here. If you don't want to join it, don't join it. It's really just to help out and support the channel. Or what we're going to be doing is, me and TMI, we have a lot of things working in the background. And when we announce those things, you guys are going to get notified of them first. So you get first access to everything that we're starting to work on together. Hey, how do they calculate all the synthetics and naked shares so when the hedge funds are forced to cover, they cover the right amount? So if they're on their books. So the funds are gonna know in general, like what's on their books in terms of a short position. They're like, oh, we have to cover this amount of shares. So they know how many shares they need to cover. So each institution knows how many shares they would need to cover. What have the bots been saying now? Are we up to 400 yet? No, I wish. I haven't really seen any in here tonight. SCV, are you and TMI roommates? I heard it mentioned, but wasn't sure if it was a joke and you guys are just good friends. Oh, no, we're roommates. All right. Let's see. I miss poker tournaments. Haven't played one since well before the shutdown. Yeah, that's too bad. Oh my God, Geo. You guys have been going nuts with the pennies tonight. You guys have been going absolutely wild. Not a fan of crypto. Maybe Doge will rally again next January. Maybe. I mean, I would really just stick to the top dogs like Cardano is an up and coming one, I believe. Ethereum, Bitcoin, just the basics. Oh, BBB, we're joking. But soon we may not be joking. Once the bots say sell at 10,000, you know we're about to squeeze. I don't know. I think it's just BS. I think it's somebody, like honestly, it could be the hedge funds coming into our live chat, but like I don't know, man. Number letters. What are you guys talking about? You guys are wild. We're trying to stay on topic tonight, guys. We do have power half hour coming up in a little while though. FUD. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. FUD. Do you think everyone is going to bum rush crypto after the MOAS? Yeah, I do. SCV is 22. SCV is not barely legal. Yeah, we're not gonna be talking about the drama anymore in here. We're just gonna let them figure it out. They're handling it, and it's all gonna get resolved, guys. It's fine. Everything's good. Everybody's human. Remember, we are like just people too. STV is 43. I know I look good for 43, don't I? I look young. Love my fellow apes. All people are equal. For sure. Ignore all the FUD, the noises, and stay focused. Stay positive, apes. Absolutely, Pam. Yeah, everybody, like honestly, if you want to really help out the community and have a voice and you're on Twitter, TMI was saying this in the Twitter space earlier, just tweet out something positive. Just be positive. If you see people doing things that you do not like and think are negative, that doesn't mean that you have to come and call them out for being negative because you are just going to draw more attention to the negativity. And what you could do instead is just say something positive. And that goes for everything. Vix, we are not humans. We are all apes. Okay. My bad. You're right. I messed that one up. We are apes. Let's see. Covering will be reflected with price action. Yeah. So a lot of people yesterday, when we were looking at the amount of shares that got returned, those shares were returned Friday. Where is it? Friday. We saw this big decrease in price. If they returned, I think it was 13 or 15 million shares. That's like almost impossible to do with like it would not happen with this price action. Oh, thank you, Lodgers. All right. What do we got here? What does AF mean? STV was an icon at his local roller rink until he hit it big on the Wall Streets. I mean, I don't think I've ever been to a roller rink. Can we talk about Set It Out Connect and Virtue loaning out 5 million more shares? Okay, we don't know. A lot of people were suggesting that Virtue was the one that received that 5 million. Now, to me, it doesn't really matter at all who received those shares because we saw that 5 million block go out at once. I would speculate that that 5 million share block went out to one institution. Could have been Virtue, 100%. Could have been somebody else. Doesn't really matter though, because the fact remains the same that 5 million shares at once got loaned out. So now what they could be doing is they were waiting for an opportunity to short. What does this look like right here? Stock goes up, knock it down. Now, what does it look like in the morning? Stock goes up big. They come in and short. So we were speculating yesterday. I was talking with TMI and Rogue. I was like, they just an institution took out 5 million shares and we're starting to rip. I think they're going to start attacking us when we hit 40. Didn't happen. We busted right through. Then we got into the after hours. I was like, okay, typically there's lower volume in the after hours. If they want to short then to knock the price down, they could probably do it. They did it a little bit over here. What is going on here? What is this right here? 44 to, what is this? 41. So they knocked it down a little bit. Then we ripped up in the morning and then we got knocked down again. So depending on how many shares they shorted, like the volume today was huge. Also, this is another thing that I want to point out to you guys. I think last week, everybody was asking me the question of we need volume. We need volume. Do we need volume? How do we get more volume into the stock? Well, my response to that was, well, it doesn't necessarily matter what the volume is. It just matters what the buyers and sellers are willing to transact at. And if the buyers are going to step up their bid and wipe out all of the sell orders, then the price will continue to go up. It doesn't necessarily have to do with volume. It's like a correlation versus causation issue. We saw a volume of 158 million today. That's relatively high. That's like in the upper end of what we've seen recently. And we fell 5.36%. Average Rob, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I'm hoping that my 30 July 70, wait, 70 July, my 30, 70 July 30 calls come to fruit. Good luck to all this week. Chart is mirror image of January 1st and 2nd. FTD going to cover in the AM. Interesting. Average Rob, I have heard a lot of people talking about the T plus 35. What time is it? Oh, it's also 9:08. Let's check the threshold list. Yeah, so I have not looked at the T plus 35 yet. If you guys could send me a source to verify that tomorrow is the T plus 35 date, then that would be pretty interesting. In the past, we have seen significant price movements on T plus 35 days, which means they're covering FTDs or yeah. But also AMC is not on the threshold list. So when I bring this over here, right here, alphabetical order, you can see it's the 21st, no AMC. And Average Rob, thank you so much for that super chat, man. Do you know how old the average short position is? Yeah, it's 38 days right now. I think I can pull it back up again, though. Let me look. 38.67 days is the average days on loan. Yeah, anytime, true. Do we FTD breakdown by... Yeah, I don't know. No, it didn't. Did it change again? Oh, this is confusing right now. This is weird. So now it's up even more. Why is the short interest changing in the I mean, maybe they're updating, but it's after hours. This should not be changing. So short interest, I guess now, today it's gone up, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, it does make sense, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense why it's changing randomly in the after hours. Maybe they're getting some data in that they didn't receive earlier. That is the most likely outcome, because we've seen that happen before, that they're not getting all of the data soon. Ortex collusion? No. They're just a data reporting source. How would they be colluding? Most of these young ones don't know about dial-up internet. Yeah, I do not know about dial-up internet. I know about put the password in internet. That's what I know about. SCV, do you know what a floppy disk or AOL internet hours disk? I know what AOL is, but I don't know what AOL internet hours disk, but I have seen a floppy disk before. Oh God. I can't just no, CT, that's aggressive. Ortex can only give the information that they receive. Yes, Becky, that is 100% correct. I was born in 99, so. Does Ortex publicly tell us what info they receive, though? So they get their data from S&P Global. So they're just reporting the data that they receive. So there might have been a weird delay in answering machines, like a voicemail. Do puts that are exercised in the money put upward price action on the stock? No, because puts give the right to sell. So you just actually hold up. No, wait. It shouldn't. No. Chris, you graduated in the class of 99, high school or college? Yeah, I remember. You've got mail. I remember hearing that as a kid. Average Rob, thank you so much for the super, man. Really appreciate it. Thanks to everybody that sends in those super chats. We all really appreciate it. You guys don't have to do that. It always means a lot when you guys will spend your money on us. 60% of transactions completed in dark pools, percentage change delayed because of last minute transactions finalized and reported. Shorts trying to cover the shorts. Oh God, this is a tongue twister. Shorts trying to cover the shorts they shorted from others. Average Rob, that's a mind melter there. Thank you for the super though. Wow, we were strolling. You guys are nuts. It is almost power half hour though. We have 15 minutes until power half hour. Let's see if we get some of my boys in here. I think TMI's had he's had a long couple of days streaming, so let's give him a little bit of a break. Let's see if Rogue will pop in here. I sent the link out to everybody that usually wants to come on though. Oh, what's up, Pete? Get offline. I need to use the phone. I don't know about that. Oh, pushing. Yeah, Kevin, it's all good. We're not gonna talk about it. Have you finished your water yet? No, it's still like half full, but I also refilled this like on the stream with TMI today and after hours, or no, one of the streams today. I don't know. There's so many streams. Yeah, I would love to get Trey on here. If Trey ever wants to come on, he's always welcome. Everybody's always welcome to come on. We have a chill time on here. It's just to come answer questions, hang out, and have a good time. Get everybody ready for the next day. Like if we have a red day, just get everybody feeling better before we go off to bed. If we have a green day, it's just kind of hang out, have a good time, answer questions, go over stuff. God forbid you answer a fax. Somebody asked, like I had to call the IRS one time. I didn't do anything wrong. Just putting that out there. I just had to call them and they're like, oh yeah, we can either mail this to you and it's going to take 14 business days, or we could just send it to you, but you need to have a fax. And I was like, what? Why would I have an access to a fax machine? Tim Howard, thank you for the super. We talked about Webull direct access routing last night. Currently, they do not allow, but are looking into in the future. Got an email response back in 2 hours. Interesting. Thank you for the super, Tim. That is really useful information. STV on dial-up, if someone picked up the phone, it would disconnect you. That's wild. STV's tax evasion stories about to come out. No. I just had to call them it's a long story, but this bank was being annoying and they told me I needed this form that I didn't actually need. It was really annoying. Leonard, no, not going to do that. SV, can you tell the IRS that capital gains percent is stupidly high? Vix, there's an app for that? No, I needed a call. Vix, with your best air quotes, will we hear about synthetics during this shareholder meeting? I doubt it. They're not going to talk about anything that they can't prove because then it opens them up to a lawsuit. In the last, AMC does not want a lawsuit right now. If their share price is already being manipulated and then you open up a whole door to you being sued by the same people that are manipulating your stock and trying to kill your company, then it's just another avenue for them to short the company. Fax can just send it as a PDF to email now. Yeah, apparently not. Conflict of interest with the hires recently from Citadel from the SEC. Ooh, interesting. I literally don't know why this does this. It should be on. I'm going to talk to some people to try to get the resolution of the stream better because it's clear on my screen. I don't understand. Supermom, you graduated high school in 98? Wow. Still have Yahoo email? Nice. Do you think Adam Aaron will be wearing pants at the shareholder meeting? I don't know. Am I wearing pants? I don't know. U.S. House is investigating Citadel and Robinhood. Yeah, so they're investigating Citadel right now over antitrust. But the thing is, though, is that we've seen antitrust cases come out a lot, like Facebook, Google, Amazon. You know what happens with those? Nothing usually. But we'll see. Something could always happen. We do have BlackRock with a bunch of people in the Biden administration, so that could be interesting. Yeah. Tapes. I thought, okay, guys. Okay. We are not going to be disrespectful to Adam Aaron in the chat. Not allowed. What's up, Mantis? How you doing? You guys are going off about AOL and dial-up internet. I don't know how that started. It's like the same thing with milk. STV, do you currently have options plays on AMC or GameStop? Yes, I do. Can you check Ortex again? No way it switched again. Okay, so it's 1.06, 3.92, 4.92. Okay, it didn't change again. Later, Philip. Thanks for coming in, man. Killing it, Vix. You pulled me in. So if I get rich, it was you. Interesting. I mean, you made the decision. I just talked about stuff. Greetings from El Salvador. 2,400 shares and holding since May. Awesome, Benito. Good for you. SCV, does dark pool need to cover in order to squeeze? Dark pool's not like an institution. It's just like a separate exchange. So it's not like they would have to cover. It's just how it's like that would be like saying, does the New York Stock Exchange have to cover? It's like it's just like a avenue for how orders are, like buy orders and sell orders are filled. I think the last time Congress did anything about like antitrust cases was 40 years ago, and they broke up AT&T. Interesting. See a bunch of videos about tomorrow, what's happening so far. I mean, we're just going over stuff usually. All right. Windows 98. Am I still in timeout? Reality check. I see you. I think you're good. Any updates on GME report? What report? I am not familiar with that. Can the hedge funds hook up their homie hedge funds with shares to cover? I mean, yeah, but they're still going to be like executed on a public exchange. No, they were not. No. Okay, so think about okay. Think of shorting through ETFs as a last ditch effort. It's like if you really want the last drop of shares to short in the market, you would short with the ETF. That's essentially what it would be all about. So I don't see ETFs as being like a major issue. What's going to hurt more is just normal shorting of stock. STV may be young, but he is an old soul. Yeah, I was conditioned at a young age to interact with adults. So I have like a little switch where it's like, you can see it too. It's like when I'm on stream, you can kind of see me like turn on the well-behaved switch. But when I'm in a Twitter space and I don't have to like really like be put together, I just go off on stuff. SEC just out here looking pathetic. The SEC is watching. Hi, how you doing? I like talking about a stock. It's really fun. I like to find information, and then I tell people the information that I find. It's really cool. What's drunk STV like? Great time. Drunk STV has a great time. What's gonna happen tomorrow? The stock won't go left. VIX, are dark pool blocks reported as one price no matter the size to the New York Stock Exchange? If so, that means that's how they're controlling the price. Throughout the smaller, just build them up and execute as one. Interesting. I mean, what Stephanie did say is that if you put in a dark pool order, it doesn't get reflected in until the entire order is filled. So you could be onto something there, maybe that they can compile the orders together somehow, but that's some speculation there that we would have to look into. You should. No, I don't think we should. Yeah, Fifi, I have a good time. SEC, please check out STV's positions on milk and Chipotle. Guys, I never said I don't like milk. I like milk. I don't get it. And I am wildly bullish on Chipotle. But you know what you would have to also be bullish on if you're bullish on Chipotle? Sharts. So Sagan will either go up, down, or sideways. Yeah, pretty much. We never know, like avocado milk. STV doesn't like milk. That's not true. I do like milk. You're spreading FUD about my milk taste. I don't know if anybody laughed at my joke yet. I think there's a delay, but yeah, there we go. Here we go. Yeah. If you're long on Chipotle, you also have to get calls on Sharts. Oh, Rogue's Push-Ups. That's a really good channel name. Thank you for the super chat. Short, when you gonna let me come in on the show? I have a channel in Restream, and I will buy an instrumental, write a song, and rap it on the stream. Rogue's Push-Ups. We could figure that out one time. You got 3 minutes till power half hour. We're still waiting. Long reality check. Long was in here at one point. I'm long on the toilet after Chipotle. Hey man, it happens. I've had so much Chipotle that I think my body is just used to it at this point. Like it's just like, oh, okay. Chipotle again? Got it. We know what to do. Rhode Island. Thank you for the super. Favorite Ben and Jerry's flavor? Go. Chubby Hubby. I actually see, this is going to be a hot take that you guys are never going to let me live down. I don't really like ice cream. It's like not my thing. I like don't like ice cream. Like every once in a while I'll get one, but like it's not. In my opinion, there's just better options. So sorry to anybody that got offended by my ice cream choice. Making homemade Crunchwrap Supremes, Scott. That sounds amazing. Yeah, conservatism. We spend the first 2 hours talking about AMC, and then if people in the chat no longer have a lot of questions, we get to have some fun. So if you're going to hate, you're going to get put in timeout. No, I do like milk. I'm looking for questions that you guys have, and I think everybody's ready for Power Half Hour. AM has a question. Go for it. All right. Let me look for your question because I don't see it. Nope, that's not a question from you. Oh, you want to hear what's going to happen tomorrow? I already said it. I've said it this like 4 times. It's not going to go left. You went clubbing. Did you tell them what you... Oh, you came in late? The projection for tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, I always make the joke that it's not going to go left. We really don't know. I mean, I think a lot of retail is going to eat up this dip again just because of what we saw yesterday. But at the same time, since we saw that massive run up yesterday, it makes sense that we saw this dip. So Depending on what the overall market does tomorrow, if we see another big green day, it's possible that we see AMC have a face-ripping green day. But again, we don't really know for sure. Like, we never know going into a day with AMC because look, we ripped to 46 this morning, came down, had a low of about 40.11, and then we finished down 5.36%. Like, it can literally do anything it wants to. Rhode Island. Thank you for the super. I'm offended, Vix, and I'm taking my super back. Crap, I did this wrong, didn't I? Thank you, Rhode Island. Yeah, I don't know. Ice cream. Yeah, Marissa, ask your question. There's no dumb questions. Do you think synthetics could be in the billions? Heard several times. It's theoretically possible. How many synthetic shares are involved in the AMC shorting? We don't really like, there's no real way to figure it out. The only way that we can really figure out that there's naked shorting going on, and the thing that gives us our best guess is the really high amount of FTDs and being on the threshold list. Alien Ape, thank you for becoming a member. Has anyone heard any updates about West Christian? I'm pretty sure that whole situation's over and done with for now. Do you really think AMC is trading for 5,000 per share? Not for a second until I see proof. Just because there's no evidence of it. Like it's theoretically, with this situation that we've seen all the BS that's happened, honestly, I shouldn't rule anything out. Like, anything is possible, but at the same time, there's no evidence that shows that besides random screenshots that we know are edited and people on LinkedIn saying, hey, people are whispering about this, but nobody actually has seen it and there's no hard evidence of it. If there is, somebody send me evidence of it and I'll definitely make a video on it. But do you see AMC going lower than 34? I mean, nah, yeah, I really don't think so. Vix, did you skateboard as a kid? No, I didn't. Haven't seen Dave Lauer interview for a while. Hope he's okay. I'd love to have him on here. Would you eat a bowl of ice cream for $5,000? Yeah. It's not like I hate ice cream. It's just that I don't like freak out and love ice cream. Vix is almost 7 feet tall. That's a lie. This I can actually ski and snowboard. My wrists crack from learning how to snowboard. I could probably do it for you guys, but that would be weird, I think. If short interest is high enough, is a short squeeze inevitable? I mean, the shorts will eventually have to cover. It's just when they either get forcibly liquidated or they decide to cover their position and take a gain. Right now, they're not. Odds are there are very, very, very few shorts with a sizable gain on shorting AMC. Marissa, thank you for the super. Why not buy early shares of Robinhood to scalp it? I don't think you can buy pre-IPO shares. Personally, I'm not going anywhere near Robinhood. Even though I don't really like what the company has done in the past, I'm not going to go out and short it. Okay, so AM says, okay, GME analysis is heavily tied to technicals and fundamentals. Is the fact that AMC is not tied to the latter make it less likely to squeeze? So AM, think about what the fundamentals of AMC have done over the past 6 months. They've raised a lot of money. They paid off some debt. The movie theaters are reopening. We've been breaking the pandemic box office records. They've bought new theaters. There's a lot of new movies coming out. They have that on-demand service. They're coming out with new updates. I would say that the trajectory of AMC's fundamentals are on the uptrend. But again, a lot of people say, and I do think this as well, that the fundamentals don't really matter in a short squeeze play because it's really have shorts covered or have shorts not covered. That's really it. But in order to maybe boost the price up of the stock when you get more buyers in, when you get good fundamental news for the company, it's not a bad thing. It's actually the opposite. Whatever happened to the dividend NFT to get the actual flow count? Okay, so I think it was July 14th was the date, but it was literally just a placeholder date. And the team of that NFT for GameStop, they made a comment that said we're working on it, and they're working on putting it out. But that July 14th date was just a placeholder. Let's see. Buying and riding the wave up. Yeah, I mean, you can do whatever you want, Marissa, with your money. You can really do whatever. Like, if you want to do that, go for it. I wish you the best of luck in that investment. SV, I don't want to pick on you when you're just sitting there by yourself, so I'll have to pick on someone else. Push in. You can do whatever. Oh, CT, thank you so much for the Superman. Serious question. What happens to AMC if the blank goes crazy and disrupts a lot of stuff? I don't think there will be lockdowns, but okay. I mean, that would not be good if we go into that situation again where nobody can really leave their house and a lot of things close. Yeah, it's not going to be good for the fundamentals of the company. But here's the thing. What would happen in that situation is that they'd probably short it even more, and we'd see an overall market correction. So they would short. But again, the shorts have not covered. So what I really think in that scenario, that in the worst case, it would just get delayed. The squeeze would just get delayed to a later date. That's my honest opinion. But we're gonna have to wait and see how that plays out, honestly, because nobody knows. It's not theoretically possible for the hedge funds to be able to cover their short positions in the dark pool, right? I mean, they could. It just depends on what the volume is like in the dark pool. I don't think there's enough transactions taking place for them to cover the amount of shorts that they would need to cover. Great answer, Vix. Thank you, RV. All right. Let's see. What color Lambo are you getting after the squeeze? Not really a Lambo guy. Pink Lambo. Vix, you have pets? Yeah, I have a giant golden doodle. But he has straight hair. He looks like a golden retriever. He's very I call him a lot of mean names because he's kind of rude. He'll just lay off by himself, and then you'll go over to pet him, and he'll just be like, "Get away from me." Or sometimes he'll be like, "Why aren't you playing with me?" He's very bipolar. Vix, go back to the very beginning when you started talking about AMC getting us excited by letting out some hardcore air quotes. Air quotes. But what if that? Yeah, no. Didn't see a video from him all day. Yeah, guys, give if people need a break from if any like content creator like needs a break, think about how long they've been doing this for and how much they've put into this. If somebody needs to take a little bit of a break from Twitter, creating content on YouTube, or just like a breather from everything that's going on, just give them space. Like I'm not coming at anybody. I'm just saying like some people like at this point they need a break, and that's fine. What did after hours end at? 40:53. Yeah, Trey had a surgery today. Gotcha. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, eye appointment. Gotcha. Yeah. And the same thing still applies. People need a break, they need a break. Do hedge funds need to cover only shares borrowed or all the shares including synthetics? All of them. Jeez. Nice, Pam. That's really nice. You guys are getting wild. Hey guys, also, it is power half hour. So if you want to get a little wild and mix some AMC in there too, go for it. We got like 18 minutes left. Should I stop skating, surfing, snowboarding at 45? Absolutely not. Is power talk happening? Oh, yes, it is. Let's do it. I feel like you always skip my comments. No, I don't. People forget content creators have personal lives too. Yeah, I mean, as of recently, I mainly just do this. Oh, what's up, Isaiah? Oh, pushing. I know you have jokes. All the time is power half hour. That's not true. That's not true. Let's see. You sound like you're from Jersey. I'm not from Jersey. Oh, Mr. Opio coming in with the Ngannou chats. Hypothetically, if they borrowed more shares than are available, would they still have to cover those shares? Yeah, yeah. All shares, like so here's the thing: when the shares go out on loan, there's an agreement that the broker has with the person who's taking out the loan. There's margin requirements involved, borrow fee rates. So if those requirements are not met, like they'll take the position back and they'll get like the forced buy-in, the forced liquidation, like the forced share recalls. Like that will start to happen. And it's not like they're going to say, hey, buy back all of the shares. We need to buy back all of these shares in an aggregate. It's going to be like, well, it's compartmentalized. So there's going to be like one hedge fund with this many, another hedge fund with this many, another institution with this many, and they're all going to have to cover a certain amount of shares. And they all know the amount that they would have to get out of in order to fully cover that short. Payment for order flow. Okay, does it actually help hedge funds? I mean, no, it's between the market maker and the what do you call it? Brokerages. So okay, so here's the thing. Payment for order flow is not like a good thing. The underlying issue though is the ability to send those orders into the dark pool. So that's really the underlying issue here. Oh god. You guys are wild. Keep it positive in the chat, guys. How long can they borrow shares? As long as they want, unless the brokerage is just going to be like, hey, give them back now. What? Let's see. Oh, Father Guido, thank you so much for the super, man. Hey, Vix, still new at this, been holding 800 shares for a long time now and don't totally understand halts up or down, but can that hurt the squeeze? Okay, so what a volatility halt is it's when the stock moves up or down a certain amount in a given period of time. Trading will then halt. It's like a I think it's 5, 15, and 30-minute halts. I'd have to look at it again. But what it does is it's meant to protect retail investors. What it actually does, it just gives the big boys with big money time to reposition themselves because they can see the orders in the halt. So halts are not bad. It doesn't mean like trading suspended. It's not a bad thing. It's just like a break from trading. It's like they overcooked it in a short period of time, and it's just going to pause for a certain amount of time, and then it'll come back on. You can see even more volatility after halts. Like you can halt way up and then open way down. It just depends on what happens with the orders after the halt gets like reverted. Thank you for the super chat though, Father Guido. Are halts like musical chairs? God, it's more just like a break. It's like a pause. Any chance this continues into 2022? Yeah, there's always a chance of this continuing to go. We don't know how long this is going to last. How are synthetic shares created? So synthetic shares are created through one of the ways is through the sale of a call and the purchase of a put at the same strike. When the stock is hard to borrow, there's a imbalance of the put call parity. So you can enter into a position for a certain cost, but you're actually technically controlling more shares than the position value would suggest. So there's that synthetic portion to it. We've gone over that a couple of times, but yeah, those will result in FTDs, and then they can do a couple of trades to reset the clock, and they just keep kicking the can down the road until they can no longer do so. Yeah, June 2nd, we halted like 5 times. I think it was 3. I think that was the day with 3 halts. Where's my gallon? Here it is. Yeah, and if you guys don't mind, if you haven't already, just dropping a like on the video. It just helps us out with the algorithm. So thank you guys to all of you who have done it already. It just helps us out a lot. If they drag it out, less taxes. However, inflation will be bad. Yeah, so if inflation keeps running higher than expected, the cost of a lot of things are going to increase by a lot more than they already have. So the Fed at that point is going to have no choice but to increase interest rates. What that does to like stocks in the short term is it typically causes them to decrease in value. Are FTGs created by retail traders who are margin called? They shouldn't be, no, because they'll just take your money. They'll just be like, nope, close you out. Like they'll close you out before you even get to that point. Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from the political questions. Yeah, either way, it sucks, but I'm holding. Me too, Pam. Do you know how much they're paying in fines for not covering? I mean, they're paying the borrow fee rates. And then they pay the fines on FTDs, and then yeah. I think it's cool. I see the usuals here most days. I know. It's really cool to me too that like I see the same people come in here. It's very cool. No, I don't give financial advice, AM, buddy. I don't think I've ever told anybody like what specific play I'm going for, like before I do it. Like I'll tell people what I have, but like way after. I read this. Hedge funds are covering their short positions inside Citadel Connect. That's why the price is actually. Yeah, no. Tones. Nobody has any evidence that the price is that high in the second book. Oh, what's up, Rogue? Everybody drop some swords in the chat for Rogue. Rogue, you guys were killing it probably in those Twitter spaces. I mean, I was reading some of the stuff that you guys were sending in every now and then. But yeah, you guys did a good job tonight. Automatic show for not liking ice cream. Sorry. Okay, Citadel did not get hit today with that fine. That was from, this is a mistake that a lot of people made. That's actually from July 1st, 2020. So I pulled that up on the stream and I looked at it and I was like, huh, I think this is the same one, but it's actually, or July 21st, 2020, not 2021. I literally just realized that right as I started the stream. You went rogue for a while? Wait, you don't like ice cream? How? I just like it's not my favorite thing. It's not like I don't like ice cream. Like I'll eat it sometimes, but it's not like if you gave me like ice cream and then like cookies, ice cream and cake, brown, like ice cream would just come last on the list most times. You guys are nuts. Yeah. AM, you're teetering. You're on the edge right there for the timeout, buddy. Yeah, anytime, Nick. Oh, interesting. Thank you, Angle. Well, we'll take care of that. STV, you're really smart for your age. Does that mean I'm like, I know that's a compliment, but in my head, I'm like, oh, does that mean I'm like stupid for a 65-year-old? I'm just kidding. When will MSM say it's an ape market right now? That would be awesome if we saw that. Remember, there was like the kangaroo market at some point, and then there was like a rabbit or something. Somebody give me a movie suggestion. I don't know, anything at an AMC. Yeah. You should tell people about share lending and how to turn it off, even on a cash account. Yeah, Aaron. So you guys can turn off share lending. If I see, here's the thing. I always err way on the side of caution for financial advice questions. I don't think that one falls under it, but I'm going to just tell you the problems with share lending. The issues with share lending is that you're letting your broker take your shares and use them against you. to basically give to somebody else to short. So that's the issue with having your share lending turned on, and you can turn it off in order to not let that happen. There's a couple of buttons you need to click on Webull if you use Webull. And then other brokerages, some of them you need to call them and ask them. Some of them, they have that same button process. But if you don't want your broker to use your shares against you, then yeah, you would you would have to turn off share lending. What does it mean if the interest rates were to go up? Overall market would correct because it hold on. Let me think. It's basically trying to cool down the growth of the economy. Like we're running too hot, so raising interest rates like kind of kills growth a little bit. I can look something up so we can go into it more in depth. We could do a video. We could incorporate that into one of my videos tomorrow. Yeah, even on cash accounts, you should do it. Well, not you should, but cash accounts, they're not supposed to be able to lend their shares out. I'm pretty sure it's illegal. But yeah, there are instances of them doing it. So if you don't want your shares to be used against you, definitely go through the steps in order to figure that out. I don't want to direct anybody to do anything. So I'm going to give you guys the pros and cons. There's really only cons to having share lending turned on, though. There you go. Carlos Villard has it in the chat right now. If you guys want to turn it off. Yeah, Goldman Sachs got hit by Wes for lending cash accounts out. Yep. Yep. Get him, Powder. All right, we got about 3 minutes left. Let's see how wild you guys get tonight. How about E-Trade? Not sure. VIX is reverse repo additive. Like every week, it's close to $1 trillion. Does that mean it's already at several trillion? Not necessarily. They're like overnight transactions. So they're supposed to be returned the next day at a certain interest rate. Really low. It's like 5 basis points, I'm pretty sure, which is like 0.0. Should be 0.05%. Oh, thank you, Hella Bliss. Oh, I swear to God, I'm gonna have back problems. I don't know how like Matt does this all day. Maybe I just need like a position to be in. I can't just be like hunched over and then look into the left like this. Nacho, good luck with that. Oh, here we go. Hey, buddy.
What's going on, buddy?
Not much, man.
I was literally just jumping your live chat to chirp.
To chirp who?
You're like, I wonder if there's a certain position I should be in. I was like, position equals the bottom. What's going on, man? I heard you're holding it down solo. How was it?
It was fun. We had a good time.
Solid. What's going on, people? I know it's the end of the flagrant hour, the power half hour. Team, are you a top or a depends on who's asking.
No, we had some fun tonight.
Solid. Oh man, there is so much stuff going on right now. I was happy to see that you had a positive video happening right now. I'm like, wow, people are having fun.
That's what I was trying to do. Like people were starting to bring it up, and I was like, nah, well, they're figuring it out. They're doing their thing.
Yeah. Have you seen the update?
I've been able to see a couple of them. I would like click over and look, but I'll read through once we hop off in like a minute.
Oh, okay. You're gonna enjoy it. So it says T-Mice gotta pay a super for being tardy. That's it. I'm not gonna.
Auto spot. Thank you for the super. The game is simple. Buy and hold. Peach, 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 peach.
Interesting. Interesting. What, buy and hold peach? Does that mean like buy and hold and do something else, or it's just buy and hold?
Or what?
Or what are you holding? I know what you're buying, but what are you holding is the question.
Oh, I mean, that's never like a bad time.
That's an interesting one. Definitely interesting one.
All right, guys. Well, at least we got to end it off on a good note with TMI.
There you go. If I swear to God, if you guys start putting avocados in the chat right now,
there was the one. I told them that I don't really like ice cream, and then they freaked out at me. And then we talked about Chipotle too.
Oh, this guy is the biggest Chipotle supporter. Actually, they would have went down. They would have been out of business in his state if it wasn't for his daily visits. That's what I heard, according to Motley Fool.
They were asking me if I was bullish on Chipotle. I was like, yeah, I'm wildly bullish on Chipotle. But you know what you have to also be bullish on if you're bullish on Chipotle?
What?
Shorts.
Ooh, they go hand in hand, if you know what I'm saying.
All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Hope you guys have a good night. We got TMI, the Mass Investor, in here. I'm pretty sure you guys know who he is by now. Mass Investor on YouTube. Mass_investor on Twitter and Instagram.
Take care, guys. Have a good night.
Later.